Welcome to this episode of Sexpertise, where today we are diving deep into the fascinating world of desire. Desire is not just a simple feeling, it is a complex blend of physical sensations, emotional connections, and psychological motivations. It drives much of human behavior, especially in our intimate lives. Understanding what fuels desire can empower us to make healthier choices and deepen our relationships. Desire is also highly personal and variable. Some days it may feel overwhelming, while on others it may seem elusive. Recognizing these fluctuations is an important part of sexual health. In this episode, we will explore desire from multiple angles: biological, psychological, social, and cultural as well. By the end, you'll have a richer understanding of what desire truly is and how it operates in our bodies and minds. We'll also challenge some common myths and explore practical ways to nurture desire, no matter your age or relationship status, whether you're single or partnered, curious or confident. This episode aims to provide insight and tools to connect with your own sexual energy in a more meaningful way. So let's start with biological foundations of desire. And excuse my voice, I lost my voice last week, and it's not fully there yet. But this episode was important to me, so I wanted to make sure that it got out there this evening. But I can communicate, so here we go. So at the foundation of desire is a biological process that involves hormones and brain activity. Hormones like testosterone and estrogen play significant roles in modulating sexual desire for people of all genders. Oxytocin, sometimes called the love hormone, promotes bonding and intimacy, which can amplify desire in close relationships. Now, the brain's limbic system, including the hypothalamus, regulates these hormonal signals and processes emotional and sensory information related to attraction and desire. It's a delicate balance where many factors can influence desire levels, everything from your physical health to your nutritional status can actually have an impact. And understanding these biological mechanisms highlights that desire isn't simply in your head or a matter of willpower. It's an interplay of body systems working together. Now, when things are out of balance due to stress, illness, or hormone changes, desire can be affected, sometimes drastically. Our mental and emotional states have a profound effect on desire. Anxiety, depression, and stress can suppress sexual interest, while positive moods and emotional safety can enhance it. Desire also connects deeply with our need for intimacy and emotional connection, which means past experiences, including trauma, can shape how we experience and express desire as well. For many, desire is as much about feeling seen and valued as it is about physical sensation. This is why emotional health and relationship satisfaction are often intertwined with sexual desire. Therapy and self-reflection can be powerful tools for understanding and healing blocks to desire. Recognizing the psychological side of desire encourages a compassionate approach to oneself and partners. It reminds us that sexual desire isn't simply a switch to be flipped, but a complex signal reflecting overall well-being. The chemistry behind attraction involves neurotransmitters like dopamine, serotonin, and endorphins. Dopamine, often linked with pleasure and reward, is released during moments of anticipation and excitement, fueling desire and motivation to pursue connection. Serotonin helps regulate mood and feelings of satisfaction, while endorphins create pleasurable sensations and pain relief, sometimes described as natural highs. This cocktail of brain chemicals creates what we often experience as being in love or lust. Interestingly, desire operates in cycles influenced by novelty and reward. This is why new relationships often feel intensely passionate and why long-term relationships sometimes require a conscious effort to keep the desire alive. Understanding these cycles can help us manage expectations and nurture lasting attraction. So, we've talked about this in a couple previous episodes, and that's cultural influences. So, desire does not exist in a vacuum. It is shaped by the cultural and social environment around us. Societal norms dictate what is deemed desirable or acceptable, influencing how individuals perceive and express desire. So, for example, media, including pornography, often sets unrealistic expectations that can distort how people view their own sexuality and that of their partners. Different cultures have varied attitudes towards desire, gender roles, and sexual expression, which means what's considered normal or healthy desire in one context might differ elsewhere. I think I think being aware of these cultural influences allows us to critically examine our own beliefs and choose what aligns with our authentic selves rather than external pressures. Desire often changes over the course of a relationship. Like I said earlier, new relationships full of passion, long-term relationships, sometimes we have to make that conscious effort. The intense attraction at the beginning may mellow into a more stable, but sometimes lower level of desire in a long-term partnership. This natural shift can cause confusion or distress if partners are not communicating openly. Understanding that desire fluctuates helps normalize these changes and reduces pressure. Open communication about needs and feelings is vital to maintain sexual connection. And I know that I say that all the time, but the reminder is necessary. Sometimes mismatches in desire require negotiation and compromise. But with empathy, partners can find ways to keep intimacy vibrant. Exploring new ways to connect, whether through date nights, physical touch, or shared fantasies, can rekindle desire and deepen an emotional bond. Now, there are many, many myths surrounding sexual desire that can create unnecessary stress and misunderstanding. One super common myth is that desire should be constant and unwavering, which simply isn't true for most people. Another misconception is that men always have higher libido than women. Desire varies widely among individuals, regardless of gender. I think separating desire from performance or the need to prove attraction can relieve pressure and foster a healthier experience. Debunking these myths encourages a more realistic and compassionate understanding of desire, allowing people to embrace their unique sexual rhythms. This one's a big one. Desire and aging. Desire evolves over a lifetime. Hormonal changes, health conditions, life circumstances, all these things affect how desire is experienced as we age. For example, menopause or andropause can shift hormone levels, influencing libido. But desire doesn't necessarily decline with age. Many people report deeper and more satisfying sexual experiences later in life due to increased confidence and self-awareness. Embracing these changes and staying attuned to evolving needs helps maintain sexual wellness and fulfillment throughout all stages of life. Sometimes desire issues become more persistent than what we've discussed, and they can cause distress. Hypoactive sexual desire disorder, or HSDD, is characterized by a low or absent desire that causes personal or relational difficulty. Causes can range from hormonal imbalances and medications to psychological issues. Treatments can include therapy, medical interventions, or lifestyle changes. Recognizing when professional help is needed is important and can lead to improved quality of life and relationships. So, enhancing desire naturally. There are also many natural ways to support healthy desire. Physical health plays a key role. I feel like we don't discuss the things that we can do organically to support our desire. So it plays a key role. So getting enough sleep, eating a balanced diet, and exercising regularly, all things that you can do on your own every day, they contribute to hormonal balance and emotional well-being. Stress management is also crucial. Practices like meditation, deep breathing, or journaling can calm the nervous system and open the body to pleasure. Engaging in sensual practices such as massage or mindful touch can also reconnect individuals with their bodies and increase desire over time. So these are simple things that you can do on your own naturally to improve desire. Desire isn't just a bonus to our sex lives. It's an essential part of holistic sexual wellness. When we view desire as an integrated piece of our emotional, mental, and physical health, we can start to honor it rather than pathologize it. Why are we doing that? Desire can be a signal that we're feeling safe and connected and alive. Emotional safety is one of the biggest contributors to healthy desire. When partners create a space where there's trust, vulnerability, and communication, desire often flourishes naturally. On the flip side, when shame, pressure, or fear are present, desire tends to diminish. This is also where consent becomes a foundation for desire and not a limitation. When someone feels fully free to say yes, no, or maybe, desire has space to grow organically. Incorporating desire into our self care and wellness routines helps sustain it as a positive, nourishing part of our lives. So, we're going to just touch base on this, but this is a fun part. Fantasy and imagination are powerful tools in exploring and expanding desire. And I've done full episodes on this. We could do many full episodes on this, but we're going to touch base on it today. Fantasy and imagination, these types of tools, they allow us to experiment with different roles, scenarios, and sensations in a safe internal space. Fantasies can be deeply personal and often tell us more about our emotional needs than our literal desires themselves. Cultural messages might stigmatize sexual imagination, especially for women and marginalized genders. But the truth is that fantasy is a normal, healthy aspect of human sexuality. It doesn't have to reflect what we want to act on, but it can simply be a way of exploring our inner world. Whether through reading, guided meditations, or private thoughts, allowing ourselves the freedom to fantasize can awaken dormant desire and give us insights into what really turns us on emotionally, mentally, and physically. All right, so more communication talk. So, communication tools, being able to talk about desire openly and without shame is one of the most important skills a person can develop. That includes talking about what you want, what you're curious about, and what feels uncomfortable as well. Naming your desire gives it permission to exist. Start with using I statements and avoid blaming language. Instead of saying, "You never touch me anymore," try, "I miss feeling physically close to you, and I'd love to explore more intimacy." Framing things positively and expressing curiosity rather than criticism opens up the conversation. It's also important to make room for your partner's desires and hesitations. Desire doesn't always align perfectly, and that's okay. But talking about it builds connection and reduces the fear that can stifle sexuality. Technology. So, in today's world, technology has reshaped how desire is expressed and explored. We had an episode on this a few weeks back. Dating apps, sexting, and even virtual reality offer new ways to connect and experiment. These tools can actually be empowering, but they also come with some challenges. One issue is overstimulation. Constant novelty from apps or adult content can sometimes desensitize people to real life desire. Another is disconnection digital interactions that may not provide the emotional depth needed for sustainable intimacy. But when used mindfully, technology can enhance desire, but you have to use it mindfully. For example, long distance couples might explore virtual intimacy, while others might use apps to better understand their own preferences. The key is to use tech as a tool and not as a replacement for genuine connection. Desire is an ever evolving, multifaceted experience that lives at the intersection of body, mind, culture, and spirit. Whether it's influenced by biology, shaped by society, or sparked by your imagination, desire is something to be explored, not judged or suppressed. As we wrap up tonight's episode, I invite you to reflect on your own relationship with desire. Are there parts of it that you've ignored, misunderstood, or suppressed? Are there ways that you might nurture or reignite it gently, curiously, and without pressure? Honor your desires. They're a part of your wellness, your joy, and your truth. Join me again next week. Let's see, that would be, I'm in Japan, so for me it is Wednesday at 8 a.m. But for most of you watching on the East Coast of the US, catch me next week, Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. And we're going to continue this conversation on desire and how to connect. Today was the biology, the psychology behind it. But next week, we're really going to talk about connection within that desire. And then in June, we'll be talking about attachment styles. So stay tuned for that. And like I said, honor your desires.